You want to see me fail? You will never get your chance. What's up, metalheads? Lord Metal Blade here, and welcome back to Lord Metal Reviews. In the last episode, way back in September, I talked about Iron Maiden's Legacy of the Beast tour, which I attended with my dad, and today I'm going to be talking about the 2002 Universal Records release of Perseverance by none other than Hatebreed. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know who Hatebreed are. Hatebreed is, sorry, my wording isn't best today, but if you're unfamiliar with this band, they are a metal-influenced hardcore band out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, and they have been delivering nothing but breakdowns, aggression, and awesome music for many, many years. Now, this is a follow-up to their debut album, which came out in 1997. Satisfaction is the Death of Desire. This album, oh my god, this album right here is honestly one of my all-time favorites. Now, right out of the gate, I know Hatebreed is a band that isn't for everybody, and a lot of people like to say that all Hatebreed songs sound the same. I'm going to start off by saying that is false. Saying all Hatebreed songs sound the same is almost similar to saying all food tastes the same. But I'll get to that later in the video. First off, let's talk about that artwork. Look at that. You got the logo, Perseverance with some flames. It's like in the late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of hardcore bands were doing this sort of stuff with flames and whatever you want to call those things, those two things, like you want to call those maces or whatever. I don't know, but I think the album artwork is pretty cool. You know, you got the logo, the album name, and then, of course, that infamous parental advisory logo right underneath. So, right from the get-go, the opening track, which is Proven, you are instantly bombarded with pure aggression and hatred. This basically is an album that tells you you can achieve anything that you dream of if you set your mind to it, not letting anyone or anything get you down. And this album has definitely got me through some tough times. This is actually the last album with Lou Richards on guitar before stepping out. Also, speaking of stepping out, this was still the time when they were in their quote-unquote hardcore days. I know they're more of a metalcore band now. In that switch between this album and then the following year's 2003's Rise of Brutality, there's definitely a change in both vocals and guitars, but more on that later. Another great song off this album, I have to say, is obviously their most infamous one, I Will Be Heard. Why did I say infamous? I should have said more popular, but hey, you know, like I said, sometimes my wording isn't the best, but bear with me. Now, like I said about all Hatebreed songs sounding the same, if you listen to songs like We Still Fight, Judgment Strikes, Proven, A Call for Blood, and Unloved, that is obviously false because they're way faster, more aggressive, but don't let that take away anything. But then when you listen to songs like Below the Bottom, Perseverance, Never Alone, these songs, honestly, they're slow, but they're still aggressive as fuck, that's for sure. This album is definitely one to listen to if you're going to want to just be absolutely pissed off at everything. Like, say you had a bad day at work or school or whatever, and you just want to take your anger out on anything you see, listen to this album. This album is definitely one to listen to. It definitely helped me when I was pissed off. Jamie's vocals on this album, they still sound a little raspy. I know they're more raspy in Satisfaction and their EP Under the Knife, but listening to his vocals from this album and then jumping to Rise of Brutality, there's definitely a shift. Like, I don't know if it's his voice just a tuning or whatnot, but hey, his voice has gotten better with each album. Maybe it's just adjusting to that metalcore aspect. Not so much like Killswitch Engage or Machine Head, but definitely bands that these guys have definitely looked up to. But Jamie and the boys really outdid themselves with this album. This one is actually on my top 10 favorite albums of all time. If you want to see a top 10 favorite albums video, let me know in the comments below. Another thing about this album, I Will Be Heard was featured on the XXX movie soundtrack, and Below the Bottom was featured on the Texas Chainsaw Massacres. That I didn't know of. I'm familiar with both movies, and I didn't even know this. Now, of course, this album came out in a time when I wasn't into metal. I was probably about 7 years old in the second grade. If I listened to this album then, I probably would have been scared shitless because, hey, you know, I'm not saying that I was a timid little kid, but I really wasn't the bravest either. But all that aside, this album is definitely a must listen if you are a hardcore fan. People call them hardcore, people call them metal, people call them punk. I'm just going to come out and say that this band is a great metal hardcore band. That's right, metal hardcore. It says it on the wiki. It's been like that for years. They have metal aspects, but they still have that hardcoreness to them because this is just a band that means so much to me. For a while, Rise of Brutality was my favorite album. But when I listened to this album more and more, I got, no, Perseverance is the superior Hatebreed album. Not to say that the rest of the discography is bad. You know, you have ones like the self-titled, Supremacy, Concrete Confessional, Divinity of Purpose, etc., etc. They just released one not too long ago. I might even do more Hatebreed reviews if you guys definitely would like to see that. But hey, if I were to give you a song suggestion, listen to A Call for Blood. A Call for Blood is definitely a song that you got to listen to if you're just feeling absolutely pissed off. Say there's someone that did you wrong, someone that just you can't stand. Listen to this song, listen to A Call for Blood, and I think you'll feel a lot better afterwards because this album is basically about being done wrong and just, like the album title says, persevering through everything. Like, everything that you go through, all the hardships in life, anything that gets you down, this album is there to pick you back up because this album definitely looks after people. And I know that sounds weird to say, but hey, I mean it from the start. Now, about I Will Be Heard, one of their most popular songs of all time, I honestly feel like it's their more overrated ones. Not to say I don't like it any more than I do now, I just feel like it's overplayed. You know, say they go on tour, which I've seen them twice. I've actually met Jamie Josta and the gang at Knotfest 2014, and they were such nice guys. That's another thing about them. These guys are very humble and nice. It was an honor meeting them, but unfortunately, they haven't been close to my home in a while, so I definitely got to go see these guys again. But honestly, if I were to give this album a ranking, I'd have to give it a 9 out of 10. Not a solid 10, but a 9, because this album seriously means so much to me. It's gotten me through a lot, and I owe it to this album here. And I thank Jamie and the boys for releasing an incredible record. Well, that's all I have to say about this album. If you've listened to the album, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have a future album that you'd like to see me review in the future, please let me know in the comments. But anyway, guys, that's it for this episode of Mondays with Metal. Wait a second. Oh yeah, it's Thursday, and it's not Mondays with Metal. It's Lord Metal Reviews. I'm so sorry I keep saying Mondays with Metal. It's been a while since I've done Lord Metal Reviews, and I keep saying it because, hey, you know, it wouldn't be a Lord Metal Blade video without a mess up, but I'm going to keep it in. Maybe I'll edit it out. I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you metalheads in the next video.